Hello there Nintendo GBR fans! Thank you again for joining me on one of my many videos. Today, as I promised some time ago, I'm finishing off my Nintendo collection, and here, if you haven't already made it out, is my Wii collection. Now, I amassed this collection mostly when I worked at Virgin Megastores many moons ago, and I don't know if you remember how chaotic and crazy it was when the Wii first launched. I never ever thought I'd see a game launch like it ever again. I didn't think it could happen with video games, but in 2006 it was just crazy when the Wii launched, and you'd think that the following year it would tail off. Well, 2007 was just as crazy. So I haven't got, again, the biggest collection, but I think I've got what stands out to be some of the best quality titles on the system. So as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little tour of all the games so you can see them up and close. So here we go. Okay, so first and foremost, Wii Sports Resort. That came to the Wii later in its life, and that came bundled with the Wii Motion Plus that was supposedly meant to improve the one-to-one intuitiveness of the Wii remote. Wii Sports Resort was not so bad. I don't ever think it eclipsed Wii Sports, but it was fun nonetheless. Obviously next to it you can see one of the original titles that come out for the Wii Play. Fantastic bundle, genius idea by Nintendo, bundling in a extra controller. Wii Play was a number of small little mini games, and I must say that the pool game on this was one of my favourites. All of my boxes are in pretty good condition, as you can see. Again, Wii Play here. Let's get that out so you can have a look at it. I played this yesterday, and some of the games on it are still really addictive. But yeah, so there we go. So moving along, Super Paper Mario. I bought this because I was more intrigued to see how the whole 3D thing was going to work, because you'd be in 2D and flick it round into 3D, and I must say I was pleasantly surprised by how good this game was. I can't remember if I actually completed it, but it was a fun game nonetheless. If you haven't played it, pick it up. Next up, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. This was probably my favourite Metroid, even though the first one was fantastic on the GameCube. I must say, playing it with the Wii Remote controls was fantastic. It really worked for me. And again, if you haven't picked up or played the Metroid Prime 3, I'd advise getting the trilogy on the Wii eShop, because they're fantastic games. Okay, so next up was a slightly different Metroid, Metroid Other M. This was developed by a different studio. Nintendo worked with another company. I'm trying to think if it was off the top of my head. I can't think of it immediately. Might have been Team Ninja, but I might be making that up. I really enjoyed this. This got criticised a lot and was dropped down in price quite quickly, but I really enjoyed Metroid Other M, and I think there should be more like this in the series. Everyone's favourite, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Again, I'm not a huge Smash Brothers fan, but I bought it because I had other Smash Brother games in my collection, so I thought, why not? And it was a good quality game. There was lots of fun to be had on it. Now the port of Resident Evil 4 from the GameCube onto the Wii made perfect sense, really, and again the controls were just sublime. Your accuracy was much better, the movement seemed a lot better, and for me this is one of my all-time favourite games. So again, if you haven't played it, I'd advise it. Really good. Okay, so next game, Donkey Kong Country Returns. This was a solid game. When I first got this, I got about 3/4 of the way through the game, and I couldn't do some of the levels, and I forgot how difficult certain platforms can be. Fortunately, I went back in a better frame of mind and completed the game, but this is a solid game. Really worth your time. So next up, wonderful game, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I remember when this came out, I was so excited. As you know, I've got one on the GameCube as well. I'd say the only bad thing about this, just like most games, is that it's aged badly. But the problem was, as soon as this game came out, it didn't look fantastic. Very jagged, very blurry in places. But I tell you what, the actual game itself is just amazing. I'd love them to remake Twilight Princess. I think even above Ocarina of Time, because I think that Twilight Princess improves over Ocarina of Time, in my opinion. But I still love Ocarina of Time as well. Okay, so next up, amazing game, Punch-Out. So much fun. I really don't know why Nintendo hasn't gone out of its way to make more of these titles. Maybe, like, you know, for the N64, for the GameCube, for the Wii U. Punch-Out to me is just fantastic, and I think this franchise is one that Nintendo haven't used to their best ability. I used to love the SNES version, Super Punch-Out. Never played the original NES one when it was available back in the day, but got to love Punch-Out. Now, as you can see here as well, just before we carry on, just some component leads for the Wii, which was the best possible way to play the Wii. Had to pick those up early doors, they were hard to find. And obviously just underneath there, an extra nunchuck, still in its original box, which was used a lot. On the back here, you've got Link's crossbow training. It was pretty average stuff, that game. The light gun was pretty poor, but it sold in the bulk load, hence why it was worth picking up in the day, because you couldn't find it. But yeah, it's not great. The classic controller. Again, all of these I picked up on day one. I picked up the extra nunchuck, the component leads, the Wii controller, because I knew that it was just going to be impossible to get them, and because I worked in a large retailer, they were all reserved for me. Okay, so moving on, Super Mario Galaxy, absolutely amazing title, just blew me away, made me feel like a 7-year-old child again. I remember recommending this to everyone who came in the shop, and it's one of my personal favourites, Galaxy. Just makes you feel like a child, just amazing. Okay, next up, it was the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. It was essentially Super Mario All-Stars rebundled yet again. I think they could have done more for this anniversary edition. If for those of you that didn't get it, you got a copy of the game, Super Mario All-Stars, which was just the same as the SNES one. Didn't include Super Mario World, which was, I think, quite tight, to be perfectly frank. And I think they could have also thrown on Super Mario 64 and possibly Super Mario Sunshine. But for some reason they chose not to do it. The only nice thing about this was that you got a nice little history booklet in the box, and you also got a soundtrack CD. So they were nice little touches, but I think they could have made Super Mario All-Stars even more starry, if you get my drift. But glad I picked it up, because it's quite rare now to get one in really good nick. And then lastly, of all the games that I have for the Wii, Super Mario, or New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I pre-ordered mine, and as you can see, I got mine in the nice tin. They didn't have one of these for Super Mario Galaxy, but they did have one for Super Mario Galaxy 2. And if you look in some of my earlier videos on my channel, you'll see my Super Mario Galaxy 2 special edition tin with a few other of my Wii games. Because I said this was all boxed up, hence why I haven't been able to show it to you. And if I just remove these, underneath here is the system that made Nintendo huge again. The strangely named Wii, which got mocked and yeah, taken out of. It was just an amazing system for what it was. It was a system that made everybody excited. It innovated. It was a really good price point, and it sold by the bucket load. And people forget with Nintendo is that they always do try and make their consoles as cheap as possible. I think the Wii U was a huge downfall for them, because it wasn't an Xbox One or a PS4 inside. It was essentially a 360 maximum. The Wii was £180, and it was essentially a PlayStation 2 kind of in a box. The GameCube was £130, and you know, when you're getting price points like that, it's like the whole razor thing, you know, with Gillette. You know, you'll buy the set, but then you'll keep buying the blades, and that's the kind of thing that Nintendo was going with. That, you know, you'll buy something, a cheap system, but then you'll carry on buying all the software, and that's how you make your money. But anyway, I could go on chatting about rubbish all day long. I hope you've enjoyed me showing you my Wii collection. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them at the bottom of the page. Thanks very much.